Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So it's FPL Gameweek 32 transfer targets. I know there's an international break and there's a bit of a break before we get to Gameweek 32 deadline, but a lot of people are thinking about using chips. Some people have already used the wildcard are probably looking at players that are going to get them from now to the end of the season. So in today's video, I'll look at the fixture ticker from now to the end of the season and highlight some of the best players to buy. Then I look at the clean sheet odds and goal projections for game week 32 before showing you a handpicked shortlist and why I'm thinking about some of these players, and also give you some recommendations. If you like this video and you get something from it, hit that like button. My aim is to get 25 likes on this video. Anyway, intro out the way, let's just get into the video. So first of all, here we have the game week 32 fixtures, West Ham vs Wolves. That one's a hard one to call. Both sides have started to do well over the last few game weeks. Arsenal vs Bournemouth. I do expect Arsenal to win, but they have got European fixtures just before it and just after it, so that Bournemouth game could be a hard one to call just because they might rest players just for that second leg of the Champions League. Then we got Brentford vs Everton. I think Everton have done well the last few game weeks. Brentford have also done well all season. So that one's a hard one to call. I'd probably favour Brentford. Burnley vs Brighton. I favour Brighton. I think anyone that plays Burnley is expected to win at the moment. Then we've got Liverpool vs Fulham. That one's a hard one to call. You would recommend and say Liverpool should win it, but the last few game weeks, especially the whole season, Liverpool haven't been the side that we've seen last season. Then we got Crystal Palace versus Newcastle. Crystal Palace have still got Europe, so they'll have a European fixture just before and just after this game week. Newcastle have been knocked out of the Champions League by Barcelona, so they'll have a bit extra to be ready for that. Then we've got Nottingham Forest versus Aston Villa. Both of them are in Europe. They're both going to have a European fixture just before and just after this fixture. Then we've got Sunderland versus Spurs. I think both sides are looking really bad at the moment. I'm laughing because I can't really laugh too much because my side Chelsea are looking really bad at the moment. And the Chelsea versus City game, I do think it's a hard one for even Chelsea, for a Chelsea fan to say that we're going to win that one. The last few weeks has just been awful for us. We've conceded 31 goals in in the last 15 games, not kept a clean sheet in any of them, so it's not worth getting even Chelsea players potentially even on a double game week for me. City, now they've won the Carabao Cup, they've knocked out the Champions League, they'll be just fully focused on the FA Cup and the Premier League and trying to close the gap on Arsenal and trying to win it. Then we've got United versus Leeds. Leeds aren't the greatest away from home. United have been a lot better since they changed manager. They didn't win at the weekend in game week 31, but with the side United have got and the times that they've got to rest and recover, I think they will win this one. The deadline is on a Friday, so don't forget about that. So it's a 6:30 deadline. We've got ages to forget about it, but maybe set you a little reminder just before deadline because we're going to forget about it, FPL, for a while because we've got nearly 2-3 weeks, maybe even longer, to wait until this deadline. So yeah, I know I'm doing it early, but a lot of managers will be thinking about wildcarding or looking at what they can do because we've got a long time to sit around and look at our side. So having a look at who we could buy, whatever, I thought I'd do the video now. Yes, after the FA Cup fixtures, maybe I change some of the targets and maybe I do another video. So this is the fixture ticker from now to the end of the season. Wolves have got the best set of fixtures. They've got the good chance of being good players to sit on your bench and use on a bench boost. You could use them on a bench boost in 32, 35, 37 or 38. Even the other fixtures against Leeds, Tottenham and Brighton in 33, 34 and 36. Still decent fixtures. They won't blank any game weeks because they haven't got any sides that are going to progress, I don't think. Then we've got Arsenal in second place. They've got Southampton away in the FA Cup. If they win that FA Cup fixture, that game in game week 34, go into game week 33, so they'll play City and Newcastle in 33. Then we've got Leeds, they were away against West Ham in the FA Cup. If they win, they'll play Bournemouth and Wolves in game week 33 and probably blank in 34. Leeds, if they knock out West Ham, they'll play Crystal Palace and Everton in 33 and blank in 34. City and Liverpool play each other. If City go through, they'll play Arsenal and Burnley in game week 33 and then blank in 34. If Liverpool knock out City, then they'll play Everton and Crystal Palace in 33 and blank in 34. And then finally, we've got Chelsea. You do expect them to knock out Port Vale at home, and then they could potentially play United and Brighton in 33 and blank in 34. With that being said, there's other sides that are obviously going to have double game weeks as well. So if Chelsea do knock out Port Vale, Brighton will also have a double game week. So they'll have Tottenham and Chelsea in game week 33. Newcastle also a side that could have a double because if Arsenal knock out Southampton, they will have a double. So they'll have Bournemouth and Arsenal in 33. As you can see at the top, we've got Wolves, Arsenal, Leeds, Aston Villa, Brighton. Sunderland don't look like they're going to have a double, but they're high up. And we've got United that haven't got any doubles or blanks all the way through the season, but they're going to have a massive rest. They're still trying to get into the top 5 of the Champions League spots, so they're going to be going for it all the way through the season. And then this is a new fixture ticker that I wanted to just quickly show you, and it's a bit more detailed, but hopefully, even if it needs to be updated after we've had them FA Cup fixtures, at least you know what's coming. So I've put all the European fixtures in there and when the FA Cup fixtures could happen. So as I said before, the European fixtures are just before 32 and just after 32 before 33. So some sides like Arsenal, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, if Liverpool knock out City in the FA Cup, then they'll have PSG in the second leg just between 32 and 33, then they could potentially have a double. So then they'll have just after that an FA Cup fixture. So a double for Liverpool could be good, but also is there going to be some rotation because there is a lot of fixtures coming up in such a short turnaround? And if Isaac's back, what will that mean for Hecke's minutes moving forward? Then I've put the FA Cup fixtures, what are obviously going to change that game week 34. If they get these sides go through in the FA Cup, then they'll have an FA Cup fixture that weekend. So they'll blank in 34 and them fixtures will probably go into 33. Then just after that, any side that go through in Europe will have a European fixture just before 35, and just after 35, just before 36. I've put the Crystal Palace and City game in 36, as you can see, for a potential double. It's not locked in being there. It could change and go somewhere else like 35, but I just put it there just in case, just because Crystal Palace is still in Europe and I think they will keep progressing, so I think it will probably go in 36. Then we've got FA Cup fixtures. Obviously, some of these sides will get knocked out because Leeds play West Ham and City play Liverpool, so at least 2 sides are getting knocked out the FA Cup this round, and then they'll probably all face, it'll probably 4 Premier League sides, so 2 sides will get knocked out, and then there'll be 1 fixture or 2 fixtures potentially blanking in 26 and maybe going into 37, but we'll see when we get there. But yeah, you can screenshot this or just wait until the FA Cup fixtures are played and then we can do it. But this is a good time for me to just quickly recommend that if you still got your wildcard chip, it's probably not best to use a wildcard chip yet. If you're really sick of somebody in your squad, don't make the transfer even if he's going to go down in 0.1, 0.2. It's better just to wait because we've got a massive break. I think the FA Cup fixtures are on the 5th and 6th. We're on the time of recording, the 23rd. So we've got nearly 2 weeks until them FA Cup fixtures are played. Then we've got the European fixtures. Then it's the weekend after. So it's nearly 3 weeks away until game week 32. A lot can change. Players can get injured on the international break. They can get injured. And we can get some more information about FA Cup fixtures. They might play in them European fixtures, some of them teams, and need to rest players in 32. And if you've already bought someone in because you think they're going to double in 33, and then they actually don't double in 33 and they actually put all the best players for the European fixtures and rest players in 32, then it's a wasted transfer. So it is a good time to now just sit back and relax. Even though I'm doing a video, it's more just to have a quick look at it, but I wouldn't recommend buying the players. You can have a look and tinker around with your squad, think about what you're going to do with your wildcard chip, who you might buy, who you might sell if you don't use your wildcard, but I wouldn't be making any transfers. Now we've got the game week 32 clean sheet odds. Arsenal at the top with 41%. United in second place with 35. West Ham, Liverpool, Brighton. City and Chelsea 14th and 15th because they play each other. I think I'd favour City keeping a clean sheet more than Chelsea, even though Chelsea are at home. I know it's not the greatest thing for me to say as a Chelsea fan, but the confidence in Chelsea is very low. If they'd double in 33, as I said, not too sure I'd go for any goalkeepers, defenders from Chelsea, even in a double game week. Then you're looking at Cole Palmer, he's not done that well. Could go for João Pedro, but it's not looking that great, to be honest, for 33 with Chelsea, even though I do think they will go through. So maybe it's a free hit in 33 to get some Chelsea players, give it one go. If they don't do well, you get rid of them and you have your side back without any Chelsea players in for 34. So we'll see after the FA Cup fixtures what we feel like is the best chip strategy, and I'll do a chip strategy video just after them FA Cup fixtures. I'll tell you all my video plans later on in the video. Then we've got the game week 32 goal projections. These could easily go up and down from now till when game week 32 deadline is. I'll do an updated version closer to the time, but the three teams that are standing out is Arsenal, Liverpool and United. Liverpool, I think, have got Europe as well as Arsenal. United have got a week off, so it will be interesting to see once we get to 32 after the European fixtures what Arsenal and Liverpool feel is the priority. Yes, Arsenal are going for the Premier League, but if they've still got a massive gap, well, they still feel like they've got a decent gap in the Premier League and they're maybe trailing behind Sporting in the first leg, then maybe the rest plays in 32 just to get through in the Champions League for the second leg and maybe give like a Saka, a Rice, Gabriel a little bit of a rest before that. But we'll see. And then finally, we're down to it. The game week 32 shortlist. And in goal, I've gone with Raya, Verbruggen, Ramsdale, Sarr, Darlow, Kelleher, and Lamens. Raya's number one is potentially going to have a double in 33, I think. Then in 34, you can get a goalkeeper that sits, well, he's on your bench and comes in for him for that game week, and then have Raya for the rest of the season. Arsenal will want to keep winning because they want to obviously win the Premier League, and the fixtures after 34, after they have that blank, are really good for them. So Raya could be a really good one to just sit, put by, have him in your side and not think about you selling him. Then I've gone with Verbruggen and Ramsdale. Verbruggen and Ramsdale both could double in 33, as I said, in the fixture ticker bit, so they could be good ones to buy and have for the double and then blank and then have somebody for 34, then have them for the rest of the season. They've both got some decent fixtures for the rest of the season. I've gone with Sarr. He's got the best fixtures for Wolves from now to the end of the season. The good thing about Jose Sarr and the price he is, they're looking to try and stay in the Premier League. They've been a lot better the last few game weeks. At 4.2 million, you could use him in 34 because he won't blank. And then also you can use him when you want to use your bench boost. At 4.2 million, you can sit on your bench and not be bothered about that, but use him whenever you need him for that bench boost. But Darlow is also a good option. Leeds have got some good fixtures. They probably won't blank in 34. They could do. They've still got that West Ham fixture in the FA Cup. So he could double in 33, or he could and blank in 34, or he could have a fixture in 34. But the price is again, you can use him for a bench boost. Then I've gone with Kelleher. He's been really good the last 4 or 5 game weeks. The price is a decent option to look into. Then I've gone with Lamens. The good thing about Lamens is United is still trying to get into the Champions League, so they're not going to take the foot off the pedal. from now to the end of the season, they'll be wanting to keep winning. And also the good thing about Lemons is he won't be blanking in the 34. So if you're trying to get a side where you've already used your wild card, Lemons could be that goalkeeper that he's got. I think he's got Leeds this game week at home. And then you can also have him for 33. 33 you could probably bench him or whatever, but for 34 onwards, some good fixtures. Then into defence, I've gone with Gabriel, O'Reilly, Rodon, Van Hecke, Cash, Darlow, and Mbeumo. Gabriel really speaks for himself, but I put him on the shortlist again because I don't feel like putting honourable mentions is worth it. I feel like I might as well just tell you the best players that I think are the best, and Gabriel really fits that. You could go a bit cheaper and get somebody like Timber, but he's been struggling a little bit with injuries. You could go for Hincapié, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kelleher gets a start. I don't think he'll start in the Champions League, so in the Premier League, maybe Calvert-Lewin starts from now to the end of the season. So with Hincapié, you could be burnt with that. With Gabriel, I think he'll just keep playing. Gabriel will have a potential double in 33, sit him on your bench for 34 like we did in 31. And you can have him for the rest of the season when they've got some really good fixtures like Burnley. O'Reilly scored 2 goals in the Carabao Cup, playing a lot further forward. He's a defender on the game. City could potentially have a double in 33. Even if they don't, it'll be a really good option because City have got Burnley in 34. So if he doesn't double in 33, at least you've got him for 34 against Burnley. Then I've gone with Rodon, got some good fixtures. Good to sit on your bench and use as a bench boost. Then we've got Van Hecke, could have a double in 33. If Chelsea knock out Port Vale in the FA Cup, then they'll have potentially a double against Brighton, and Brighton will have a double. Brighton have got some decent fixtures from now to the end of the season, same with Cash. The only thing I'm worried about Cash, he's been struggling a little bit with injuries, and also they're in Europe, so maybe they do rotate a little bit as they get further into Europe and they want to focus on Europe and trying to win the trophy. So that is a little bit one. So I just wanted to flag about him. Then I've gone with Darlow, as I said, with Lemons, some good fixtures, and also will definitely have a fixture in 34. Same with Bueno, really cheap to sit on your bench like Jose Sarr, use on a bench boost. And the good thing about Wolves is they aren't going to just rest and down tools near the end of the season on the beach, as we say. They're going to be wanting to win every game right up until the end of the season to get as many points as they can to stay in the league. Then into midfield, I've gone with Bruno, Fernandes, Semenyo, Saka, Rodgers, Gordon, Stack and Wirtz. Bruno Fernandes speaks for himself. The last 2 game weeks I've captained him and he's done really well. Looks a lot better since they've changed manager and he's playing further forward. Every time United score, you expect him to be involved, either that's a goal or an assist. Then I've gone with Semenyo, like O'Reilly. Good for if he plays a double in 33, then obviously he's the best midfielder from City. He's been really good this season. Even if they don't have a double in 33, but have a game in 34, it'll be against Burnley, so it could be really good to have for the rest of the season where they try to catch up Arsenal. I've put Saka just behind them both, just because with Saka, sometimes I'm just a little bit frustrated as an FPL asset that he doesn't get the goals and assists to warrant the price. Yes, he's a really good player, but sometimes you need him to get a penalty to score. The other players, sometimes you don't. So he's dropped it down a little bit, and yeah, just he's third. Then we've got Morgan Rodgers, good fixtures for Aston Villa, just the same as Cash. Just a little bit worried. Once we get to a game week 34, 35, and they've got into the further in the European fixtures, do they start to rest a little bit? 37, 38, you don't want him, but for the next 4 or 5, really good pick to have. Then we've got Anthony Gordon out of Europe now, scored in game week 31. I think he will keep starting now from now to the end of the season. And if Arsenal do get through in the FA Cup, which we expect to when they play Southampton, then Newcastle potentially will have a double in 33 as well. So it could be somebody that you have for your double game week 33. Then I've gone with Stack, some really good fixtures for Leeds. I think they're one of the best teams to target for a bench boost, and the cheap options, you can sit them on your bench and not be worried that you spent a lot of budget on your defence and you don't really need them. At least you use him for a bench boost, and then you sit him on your bench and use him if you really, really need to. Then last of all, I've gone with Verts. Verts is only on there just because if they do knock out City in the FA Cup, then they'll have a double in 33, and then he could be the best option to go for. There could be Slobberslide that you could go for instead and save a bit of budget. And then finally, we've got the forwards: Erling Haaland, Bowen, Welbeck, Calvert-Lewin, Mane, Watkins and Thiaw. Erling Haaland, I know he's not been in the greatest of form, but I think from now to the end of the season, he will start scoring again now because they just need to focus on the Premier League. He'll probably have a little bit more time to rest and recover. So once we get to the end of the season, I do think he'll start firing. And there's not a lot of players that are really, really pricey that mean you can't go for him and still get other players that you need in your squad. And I think if he doubles in 33, you will want him for that double game week 33. Then we've got Jared Bowen. West Ham haven't got the greatest of fixtures, but they knock out Leeds in the FA Cup, they'll have a double in 33. Bowen is the key man for West Ham, and they're trying to stay in the league. He's been doing really well the last 5 or 6 game weeks. I've had him in my side twice, and both times he didn't do anything. Every time I've sold him, he's done really well. Not too sure if I go back there the third time, but I am thinking about it. Then we've got Danny Welbeck. Brighton could have a double in 33, as I said, if Chelsea knock out Port Vale. Brighton have got some decent fixtures, and Welbeck is one of them players that does like scoring against the good top sides, as he showed last game week in 31, where he scored against Liverpool. Then we've got Calvert-Lewin, again, good for a bench boost, the same with Mane. Both have got some good fixtures. If you're looking to use your bench boost from now to the end of the season and you're not too sure which game week to have, these two good forwards, you can sit them on your bench, use them on your bench boost, and use if you really need to. Lewin, you'll probably play a little bit more than Mane just because of the price, but still both decent to use on a bench boost. Then I've gone with Ollie Watkins. He's gone just above Thiaw on form. Thiaw probably goes above him, but I think Thiaw has been frustrating the last 5 or 6 game weeks, and I think Brentford's fixtures are getting a little bit tougher. Where Aston Villa have got 4 or 5 decent fixtures, so I've gone with Watkins over Thiaw. So there we have it for my shortlist, and then I just want to quickly just talk about my upcoming videos. So in the next 2 weeks, I'll be doing an FPL wildcard draft. I know it's hard to pick a wildcard draft as it is, just because we're not too sure about game week 33. But we do know from now to the end of the season, which is 7 game weeks, how many fixtures and who've got the best fixtures. Yes, we don't know when them fixtures will be, but we obviously know who around has got the best fixtures and who to target. So I'm going to do a wildcard draft just to try and help you think about who you should potentially buy. Then after the FA Cup fixtures, might tweak it, and my next video, in my team selection video, I'll do an updated version. Then I'm going to do an FPL tips video where I just talk about all my advice, what I do, what I don't do, how I make a decision, just to try and help you guys out, because there's a few managers that have been watching my videos and they're new to the game and they just need a little bit of advice, and I just want to help all I can. And maybe I've got, after 15, 16 seasons playing the game, that I've got a bit of experience to try and just maybe tweak a little few things that you do next season that maybe just gets you a little bit higher up. I've learned a lot myself this season doing videos. Then we've got going back to UEFA Champions League stuff, because obviously match day 13 deadline is before game week 32 in the FPL, so I'm going to be doing a team selection video for match day 13, then a deadline stream on the Tuesday the 7th. Then it's time to just relax for a little bit. We've got the FA Cup fixtures on Sunday the 4th, Saturday the 4th and Sunday the 5th. Then when the FA Cup fixtures are, and then we'll have the FA Cup draw on Sunday the 5th. Then we'll know who's going to potentially double and blank. And then I'll be doing a chip strategy video for FPL where I tell you what I'm going to do and maybe try and help you out with what you should do, because we all haven't obviously got the same set of chips. Some people have used the wildcard, some people have used the free hit, some people use the triple captain like me, some people have used the bench boost. So I'll try and do a chip strategy to try and help you out and also give you an update of what I'm thinking. I've gone from 85k to now 75k. So I'm on the green arrow trail and I'm trying to get into that top 10k with 3 chips left. And yeah, I need to work out the best chip strategy to get me green arrows from now to the end of the season. And then finally I'll be doing a FPL Gameweek32 transfer plans and team selection video before FPL Gameweek32 deadline on Friday the 10th. But yeah, it's time to relax, and that's just before I do finish. I think that's my advice. You've watched this, if you've watched it all this far, obviously you like FPL and you're addicted like me, but this is a good time with an international break to just relax and enjoy a little bit of less stress about who do I pick, who do I captain, who do I sell, who do I bench, etc., that we always get, and just let the football happen, have a little bit of a relax before the chaos happens, because we'll have doubles, blanks, trying to work all that out, trying to work out how to beat your friend in the mini league. And a lot of managers will stupidly make transfers now, and then they'll have to wait 3 weeks to see if they were even worth using them. So just wait. That's my recommendation. You can go on the site and play around with it like you're building a wildcard side and see what you can afford, like I'm going to do with the wildcard draft. But don't press confirm on anything. Don't make any transfers because it's not worth it. We'll get a lot of information in these next 3 weeks that will help you make a better decision. I think even if you are going to wildcard in 32 and you're pretty set on doing that, I think I'd still wait until the FA Cup fixtures are done, just so you make sure that you actually want a wildcard, because you might feel like I can get through 32, maybe free hit in 33 and then wildcard in 34. So you've only got one game week and then you don't really need your side that you've got, if you know what I mean, because obviously you'll be free hitting in 33, so you'll be getting rid of it, and then 34 you'll be wildcard and getting rid of it again. So yeah, just that's my recommendation. If you made it this far, hit the like button and subscribe button. I'll be doing plenty more content for the rest of the season. And also just type in the bottom, put I'm a legend, and I obviously know that you've watched it right to the end. Be interesting. Also, just let me know in the comment section where you're ranked in the world at the moment, and also where you're watching me from. Are you from England? Are you from somewhere else? I always find it interesting to find out where you're all from. And also, if you need my advice or you want to talk at fantasy football, FPL, FPL or UEFA Champions League, get in the comment section or direct message me on Blue Sky, Instagram, Twitter, FPL Scott or FPL Scott _, and I'll get back to you when I can. Anyway, signing off, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.